Hey there, welcome to TGM's Legal Nuggets, where knowledge meets inspiration. If you're looking for insightful content that informs, empowers, and transforms, this is the place to be. Don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button now and turn on notifications. Join the community and let us grow together. See you inside. Hello there, welcome to TGM Legal Nugget. We're glad to have you here. Before we move on, we wish to appreciate you for your support, for subscribing to our YouTube channel, following us on Facebook and Instagram. Now, today we want to talk about a very serious topic, and that is cybercrime and financial fraud in Nigeria, the dark reality. Now, of course, everybody knows that there has been a rising wave of cyber financial crime in Nigeria, and in fact, it is becoming a pandemic. Cybercrime, of course, is no longer a distant threat, it is now within us. In fact, it is a booming industry in Nigeria. We all know about the Yahoo boys to high profile digital fraudsters. Financial crime has become an epidemic, to say the least. It is shaking both our economy and our global reputation as Nigerians. But here's the real controversy. Some argue actually that internet fraud is a reparation for colonial theft, while others see it as an economic sabotage. Anyways, what's your opinion on this? We would like to get your opinion on this. So now, when we talk about cybercrime, what are the prevailing laws that govern cyber crimes in Nigeria? Now, the legal framework, of course, we have the Cybercrimes Prohibition, Prevention, etc. Act. This, of course, governs hacking, online fraud, digital financial crimes, and so on and so forth. Then we have the EFCC Act, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Act, which regulates financial crimes, including online scams. And then we have the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act, which criminalizes concealing illicit cyber proceeds and all that. Now, have we had examples of these cyber crimes in Nigeria? What are some examples that can come to mind? Of course, you can put yours on the comment section. Number one is Ramon, aka Osh Poppy, who is also known as Abbas. Ramon Abbas, aka Osh Poppy. In 2020, he was convicted for laundering over 24 million US dollars through online fraud. And he also did BEC scams, money laundering via cryptocurrency, and so on and so forth. And then we have Invictus Obi. This was in 2019. The guy claims to be a Nigerian entrepreneur who turned cyber criminal, defrauded Americans, up to the tune of 11 million US dollars through business email compromise scams, the same as what Osh Poppy did. And then we have Hope Olusegun Aroke. Yes, in 2021, he's a convicted Yahoo boy who ran a multi-million dollar scam from the Kirikiri prison. You can imagine a whole lot of things are going on in this country. And then we have an Instagram slay queen in the name of Olayinka Elumsa Sumibola. This was in 2023. She was arrested by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission for using social media to lure and defraud victims via cryptocurrency scams. Man, this thing is it's something else. So now, if one is actually, for example, the police arrest someone and the person is charged to court, what are some of the elements to be proven to be able to convict the person? So number one, you need to talk about the fraudulent intent. There must be evidence of deception or manipulation, that is, the person had a fraudulent intent. And then there must be electronic evidence to show that this person actually engages in such acts. And you could talk about email correspondences, chat logs, act accounts, cryptocurrency trails, and so on and so forth. Then of course, you can't talk about cybercrime without financial transactions. There must be movement of money from one point to another. So proof of money transfer through illicit means, and so on and so forth. And then victim's statement. The person must definitely make statements, alluding to the fact that, in some cases, some anyways might want to deny, but a confessional statement from the victim, the person who actually was defrauded, needs to make a statement to that effect, needs to provide requisite trace of transaction or communications between the victim and the fraudster, and so on and so forth. So now, of course, with particular reference to Nigeria, these cyber crimes have actually been or should I say made several negative impacts on the Nigerian economy. And if you ask me, we would want to ask the question, who pays the price actually? Now, cybercrime is not a victimless crime. Obviously, there's somebody at the receiving end who pays, the real costs. And of course, when these things happen, you talk about loss of investor confidence. For example, somebody comes to Nigeria to want to invest, and then the person is defrauded by way of cyber crimes. The person might not have that interest to come back again to Nigeria for an investment. And then, of course, you also have damage to international reputation. Nigerians abroad actually have a very bad image. People don't take them, seriously. They tend to take a look at them as criminals, as fraudsters. And then we also have increased law enforcement crackdown. Innocent tech entrepreneurs suffer harassment. People who are not fraudsters might get caught up in the web and all that. And then we have internet fraud versus unemployment debate. So people want to ask, or people might ask the question, is Yahoo a crime or a survival strategy? So when there's no employment, people tend to, fall back to crime, and so on and so forth. So now that we've been able to identify all these, what are some of the ways forward? Number one, we need stronger enforcement. The law enforcement agencies, particularly the EFCC, needs to do more. They must go after the masterminds, not just the small-time fraudsters. And then we also have, tech literacy and cyber security. This is something that the government needs to invest in. Nigerians must be educated on online frauds and the incidental risks, and so on and so forth. Then the judiciary needs to be very efficient. They need to be up and doing faster prosecution of cyber fraud cases. Particularly cyber fraud cases should be given certain timeline for prosecution, so that we can judgment can be delivered within a reasonable time. Then job creation would also help to reduce cybercrime. Addressing unemployment to reduce the appeal to cybercrime is one major thing that the government needs to do. So now, these are some of the recommendations that we can have with respect to this. What's our final thought on this? Some young Nigerians believe that internet fraud is just a hustling in a corrupt system, but at what cost? Want to ask that question. Nigeria loses billions annually due to cyber fraud. Legitimate businesses suffer global restrictions. The cycle of crime continues, and so on and so forth. So now the question remains, is cyber fraud an act of rebellion or outright criminality? We want to get your thoughts on this topic, so please, the comment section is open, and let us get your thoughts on this topic.